Greetings friends, welcome. Today we're looking at creating a web component for the future. Main reason I want to do this is because CSS Container Queries are out in Chrome Canary. And in terms of creating a component that is reusable and responsive, that is a major factor, ability that we've been missing till now. So with that in mind, I'm going to throw in whatever technology is out there. Things like certainly CSS Shadow Parts, we'll use that for styling. So Container Queries and Shadow Parts to start with, and then anything else that we feel is going to be beneficial, and not worry too much about what the browser coverage is. Before we jump in though, if you find yourself enjoying the video, feel free to click that subscribe below, change the alert icon to all, and you'll get updates for future videos. Alright, let's go. This is going to be a card, a web component card with LitElement. Let's do an NPM init to get started, and let's get LitElement installed. So this is a nice little framework. Alright, and then we'll go into Visual Studio Code and we shall start hacking away. Right, what are we gonna want? We're gonna want an ultimate card file. We're going to use it in TypeScript, so let's do a TS here. And what we're going to need? Certainly going to need LitElement. And LitElement uses HTML tag templates, and also uses CSS tag templates. And because we're using TypeScript, we can use properties as decorators, and also custom element to register the component. Alright, so that's all from LitElement. Whoops. Alright, so our class is going to be ultimate card, and that's going to extend LitElement. And we'll have a render function. And this is going to return our component. So what's it going to have? We'll have, I mean, this will grow over time, but we would want, say, we're going to need a container around the whole thing. So we'll start with a div here to contain it. Well, I'm not getting any completion. Okay. Oh, I'm not getting any. Oh, it's because I haven't got the tag there. Right, that'll help. So we'll have a container here. We'll use this one for these container queries as well. So let's call that something like CSS Container Query div. Yeah, that'll work. And in there we'll have another container. So this will be like a container for our elements in our actual component. As what I'd like to put in here then is like a title. So let's have a div. I'll just make this a little bit bigger while it's still small. Right. So these will actually, I'm gonna allow the user to specify this using slots and the light DOM. So we'll have slots, but we will wrap it. We will wrap it in divs. So let's have a div and then a slot, and this will have a name of title. Yeah, that's cool. Try and format it. Is it format on save? Not crazily good. So let's have a title, and then a description, and then we'll have an image as well to start with. I've never really created a card before, but I think this will be a good start, you know, just something to get going. So we'll have an image there. All right. It's not formatting on save either. Let me just check. We've got a little HTML prettier, and then auto save or format on save, formatter, format on paste, format on save. Should be, doesn't seem to be. Oh well, we'll be manually doing it for now. Something like that. Oh, what did I need? I need to put on here this this decorator to register our components. So it's going to be a custom element, and we're going to call it ultimate card. So we just need an @ there. Oh, so with that in mind as well, I need to install Typescript, and we can do a TSC init. And then if I come back in here, in my tsconfig, I want to be targeting not ES5, more like ES 2019, and the format is going to be ES 2015, say. And then if I come all the way down here, I can do experimental decorators. Yeah, we'll turn both of those on. These experimental decorators allow us to do, let me save that off, these guys here, which also allows us then to do properties. So we can specify a property. I'm going to have one for non-responsive. Now that's not, doesn't mean it's dead. This one is going to be for whether it will reorganize itself depending on the size of the screen of the container it's in, not the screen, because we can now use CSS Container Queries. We can tell our actual parent size rather than using media queries where we've got the whole screen. So let's have non-responsive, and we'll say false for the moment for that. Type, yeah, no, type is Boolean. That's what I meant to put there. It is formatting it, it's just not formatted inside the tag template. Right. Kind of fair, I guess. Is it because I'm missing one? I've got an end div here. Am I missing? Is it because it's? Don't know. Div slot. Right, let's give these, in the slots we can give default values so if no one provides anything, so just to see what's out, because we'll see this come up hopefully. Default title and default description, image here. Alright, now I'm going to want these. In terms of managing it, we're going to go a level above, just because it gives us, I think, a little bit more ability to do so. Right. That should display something now. We should be getting something back. So if I create a index.html, and what do we need? We need our script. It's going to be type module. We're going future component, so it's the type module, and the source will be ultimate card. It's going to be a JS there, and then we would use ultimate card here. Ultimate card like so. All right, let's get this running. I'm going to use Snowpack just to get it going. So let's do npm install Snowpack. So probably a bit overkill, but it's nice and fast once it's in. So let's go with that. All right, with that in, I think it's as simple as doing npm snowpack dev. It should find our index.html. Right, I'm going to need to be doing this in Canary. So let's start up Chrome Canary. Right, so I bring that over and just make that there. So right, our components, well, at least coming up, we're going to get a title, a description, and image. Now, by default, I want them all on top of each other. So we want a flex box here. We need to add our style. And I think, yes, I think it's a static get styles, or style, or styles, and it just returns the tag template literal for CSS. So let's have a look. So if we have our container, I'm inside render. That would cause a problem, yeah. So I'm going to make it a little smaller again, just because it is a bit hard to see. Right, so our container, which is this guy here, which has got the three things in it, we want that to be display flex. By default, that's row, so flex direction column, and I would have thought that would have put that. Oh, I've got a nice error there. Nice. I wonder if that was affecting my formatting. Oh, did it? I don't know. Might have done. I've definitely got a whole load of crazy divs in here. All my start divs were wrong. Okay, my formatting's back. It was because I had it wrong. All right, and they are stacked now in our flex box. So it's pretty cool. Let's grab an image. Just grab one over here quickly. Here we go. Oops, we're in. Right, I'm just going to paste that straight in the root. That's fine. And we'll rename that just to be smudge. Alright, so we want to use this kind of not really as default. We want to use it as the actual image, as if someone was using the card and they provide the image. So we can provide that in here by, we don't need to say slot women here, we just need to provide it, but we need to say which slot it is. So we can say, right, here's the image, and yeah, it needs to be an image, so. And the source will be, let's make this nice and small. It's a bit too tough to see, isn't it? So the source will be smudge. Alright, that's gone in. Try and keep some of this on. Right, now, this gets fairly tricky to get the size of an image within a flex box to honor the size of said flex box. You know, if our card here, so let's say, give this an ID of card, and say the width was 200 pixels. And then to show that card, it's just to see, you know, let's say 5px solid red. So you can see our card here is up in this bottom top left corner, and then everything's just overflowing at the moment. So I want it to start honoring its size. Now the first thing to do then is to give the image a width. And we want it to fill its container. So let's say it's going to be width 100% and height 100%. That, you know, that won't do it as such yet. I want to provide these as well, because I'm not quite sure what happens when they're the slots. So let's have the div here and say the slot is the title. So that should update our title to smudge the beagle. And then we'll have the description as well. So another slot description. Alrighty. So still obviously not honoring it. What I need to do is tell my image, well, tell the flexbox to divide the size up equally, or I can't, you know, I can do a width 100%, but because the flexbox hasn't got any size, the flexbox just grows, and this is the, so this goes to the original size of the image. You know, if I put 200 pixels width in here, that would well, no, okay, so that would have done it. But what I've got here, I've got dot image, which is my wrap of my image. I want to actually put the width on the image, and it's part of the slot. So I need to do slotted image. That will target it for us. That will now target my actual image. All right, okay, so that's pretty good, yeah. So the flexbox, well, what if I, yeah, I've restricted it here. So it is honoring that size now by having the widths in here. If I take those back out, then it goes back to the full width of the image. So you need to specify the width of the image, and then it's honoring this width of 200 at the moment. All right, that's pretty cool. Right, smudge the beagle. We want the author of the component to be able to style this text here, and we're going to expose that then with something else that is a little bit from the future, CSS Shadow Parts. All I need to do is on my title is say part is title. You know, because by default you can't style a component. Anything I specify here wouldn't go in, but I can then say I think like part and title, and this will let me in there. So I would hope then I could say font size and like 5 rem or something like that. Right, yeah, so when we're in index.html, we're consumers of the component, and they're now able to style that title. You know, if I'm not specifying that part, it is obviously not working. So But if I pick that out, so this CSS Shadow Parts allows us to expose particular parts of our component and only those bits. So you can't even get into directly into the children. In this case, it will inherit. Some things like color and font inherit in CSS, so that's getting down to this quite well. All right, that's probably a bit too big. Let's say 3. Cool. Okay. We would like it centered, and we'd probably like it always centered. So I don't know if because of my wrapper, I don't think will affect it, will it? Is that inherited as well? I guess. Text align? I don't know, it certainly picked it up from the parent. So, okay, that's cool. That looks good. And we'll do the same for description, because that looks a little bit better. All right, let me get rid of that. So the card's already responsive, but it's obviously not going to work quite as we want. We wouldn't want it to get this big, and what we'd like to be able to do is, when it does get big like this, actually flip the orientation so that I can put this information over on the left here and still have the image, but maybe not quite so large. So let's have a look at adding CSS containers queries to it then. So that's why I've got this guy here, and I should be able to go and say contain and layout and then inline size. So this is the syntax for defining which container we want to have our CSS container query look for to get the size. So this guy here, and then you can use at container. So another query. It's like at media basically. It's the same syntax then. So we can say min width, say 100 characters. So anything greater than 100 characters, I need to have this after my container class, because it's basically going to override it. And we're going to say display, no, we're going to say flex direction, and we're going to flip over to row. All right, so it's already doing that. So this must be greater than 100 characters. So if I scroll in, it flips back. So, okay, that's pretty cool. And because this is not based on the viewport width, this is using CSS Container Queries, this is going to work no matter what the size. So, if this was in a small area, so say this was 50 view width. I don't know why it's not really honoring that at the moment. I think this might still be overflowing, is it? My border, I can't see my border. Let me go full. I want to be able to see that border better to know if this image is overflowing. It feels like it is. One other thing that I'm going to put in is object fit and contain, because that will mean hopefully that this keeps its aspect ratio better than we might expect. And then also you can see at the moment that more size is being given to the image. Now I'm going to want it so that the text gets half the width and this gets half the width, and we can do that by using flex basis. And if I set that to 0 and then also say on each of these elements flex grow 1, then that should mean we get an equal amount. It's still not going for that though. It's probably still stretching them. What I would like to do is when we're on row, so we're on row, I would like align items to be maybe center. Still doesn't restrict it as much, but I like that. I would like these on top of each other. So I'm going to wrap these two, the description, the title and description, also not those two, these two. So let's wrap those with another div. And that would be, let's call it text area. Right, okay, well let's put them on, yeah, let's put them on top of each other even without flexing it. Has that changed? You know, my flex basis stuff here now, I wouldn't want on those, I'd want it on text area. So text area, I would specify that. He's still not giving them, but oh, I need this also on the image, don't I? Ah, I thought I was going to do it. No, not the image, the container for the image, which is class image. Yeah, this guy here needs, oh, that was quite good. Okay. That's starting to look quite nice there. Need a little bit more of a gap. Yeah, so I will turn this into a vertical flex box. So the text area will say display flex. We want it to be column, and then I want to say, give them a bit of space. Justify content, I think. Let's say space evenly. Problem with this one is we need it to fill the height. So that's a little, well, we'll be able to do it. It's just a little tricky. So this is part of the flex box, and I want it to stretch, you know. You know, it's kind of align, it's like justify, is it justify self stretch. I don't know. I have to think about that one. Because we've got a few flex boxes now. Well, actually, I mean, I just don't really know what I need to do to make these elements fill it vertically. You know, it is flex grow. We can look at its width at the moment, well, its whole size. With this border. Right, so you can see, I can see why it's there. It's not expanding out. Is this because of this? This is, you know, if I took that off, that would allow that, because then you're back to a line stretch. I don't think I need that one. All right, so yeah, when let's make it a little bit bigger for the change. Let's say 130, 150. Yeah. No, a little bit less, 140. Then we can go back here. So the default orientation of this is vertical. But then if someone does decide to put this card in a really wide position, we change it to be horizontal. Now the way it's working at the moment, because it's full screen, it would work with media queries. But if it was only on half the screen, it wouldn't work with media queries. But some reason this is not being honored. I know. Host display block. All right, that's better. All right, let's save that off. So I think by default, the custom element is in line block, or just in line. Basically, it wasn't letting us set the size there. You need to be display block or inline block to be able to specify the width. All right, I can get rid of this border now, because I'll just check what it looks like when we go out. Yeah, it looks fine. It looks fine. So let's ditch that there. Right, so now it's working as a component, and it's using its parent size to determine when to flick. Because notice how we've got to get out a lot further than before. You know, it was flicking here before because of the size, and if it was viewport width, it would still be flicking, but it's not, because we need 120 characters of our parent, so it's got to go all the way over here, and then it flicks over to this format, which is quite cool. So the thing that I put on here as well is you might not want that to happen, so that's why I've added this non-responsive property. So let's say if they put the attribute non-responsive on, I wouldn't want this to work, and we could make that happen by not adding this this class. So if we're non-responsive, then let's just put no class. Otherwise, let's put our CSS Container Query div class on. We need to be in there, I think. Alright, so at the moment we're still responsive, so it flips over. But if the user of this said, actually I want it to be non-responsive, then as I come out now, it just stays the same. So it just stays in the same format. So that's pretty cool. That gives that ability. I want it to be responsive, so we would take that off there, but the component will provide that functionality. All right, that's probably enough for day one. I do want to push it up I do want to push it up into GitHub and straight onto NPM really, and carry on working on it from there. Can I do a GitHub create repo? Is that the format? Unknown command create for GitHub. GitHub repo create? Okay. So git init and then GitHub repo create. Repository name ultimate card sounds good. Description. Responsive web component card. It can be public. This will add an origin. Yes, I am good with that. All right. So let's do a git add. No, it's adding git modules. That's one problem with using that. I thought it added that for me. All right, let's save off a .git ignore and put node modules in there. Hopefully it takes that in straight away. I think so. Okay. So we've got our initial commit, and I can push that up, can I? Origin master. Now to add this to NPM, I need a little bit more. Well, and I've got a package.json, but I need to make sure it's got some stuff in it. I think I want to have a module. And it's ultimate card. The main is, all of this is ultimate card. Name, ultimate card, version. We are going super low because this is only going to work in Canary. Hopefully that puts people off enough. Right. I can't remember, but let's start with an npm publish access public. Whoa, I think that did it. I think. All right, well, we'll try that out next time. So hopefully we've got the basis of the ultimate card here. I want to add quite a few more things to it. I want to make it so there's a 3D flip as well, so I'll do another video on that hopefully. And then we'll see how it looks on NPM, if we can get it down and use it easily. But there you go. Yeah, just playing around with web components for the future. If you like that video, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down if not. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.